What is up, everyone? Thanks for joining us for IGN's Summer of Gaming Day 3. I am your host, as always, Kenny, and with me today is Tess.
Hello, everybody.
We covered day 1 and day 2, and just so you guys kind of know what's going on before they actually start the show, we assume that you've already watched it. That's what we're doing. And so the volume is going to be low. I actually had to play with it a little bit because last time it was a little too high and they were speaking over us. But the idea is that we're giving you our thoughts as we see them. And so if they're like talking about the story or things of that nature and we're kind of talking over it, you're not meant to really hear that. At the same time, we don't want it completely silent. So that's why you can kind of hear it in the background. So if you're like, no, what did he say? Blah blah blah. Like, yeah, that's not what this is for. This is our thoughts. This is IGN will have it on their own a replay. If you didn't get to see it, I would say go watch it there and then come back and listen. If you didn't, watch it live. Right now they're doing the speed run, or they're getting ready to finish actually. The speed run of Bloodborne to raise money for COVID-19 relief and the Bell Project. Same thing they've been doing for the last few days. Uh, and so once this is done, is actually already counted down. But once they're completely finished, they will start with the show, and we'll go from there.
Cool. Cool, cool.
Side note, I actually I think we have a few seconds. So yeah, I got to see the PlayStation 5. Well, I'm pretty sure like a lot of people got to see the PlayStation 5 yesterday,
Right.
and it looks interesting. It looks kind of like a modem, a PC modem. Um, but I liked what I saw in terms of the games. I wish they would have given us a price because
Yeah.
yeah, it's with being Corona season, I need to save up for it, and not having a price is kind of yeah, it's kind of whack. Um,
I was really confused. I mean, like, I saw it because it popped up in my news feed, and then I saw it, and I wasn't sure what I was looking at because everything was so white. And then there were these, like, two beams that were standing up straight. And I was like, you remember that movie Riddick with that thing that was, like, standing up? I didn't know what I was looking at. In a way, I still don't know what I'm looking at because it's like, this all white background and then like these two things and like it's like black and then it's like white and they look like razors,
yeah,
like a men's razor. They're sticking up in the thing, charging.
there's been so
What
many memes of the console since they since they showed it yesterday. Uh, and it's pretty interesting because they have a digital version and a version that has the typical, that has the disk drive and everything. So at the very least, we know it's the digital version is going to be cheaper, but as far as price, we don't know. Um, I think I do think they're a little bit more daring than what Microsoft did because Microsoft just has a box.
Hmm.
But it's not my favorite design. I'll say I'll say that.
Is this the final design? This wasn't like the test. This wasn't like, hey, let's see what the public likes.
Nah, this is
Wait.
final. Definitely final. Let's see. Arc
Mhm.
system works. So this is the fighter, I believe. Their anime fighter. Yep. Guilty Gear
Mhm.
Strive. I've been looking forward to this game. It looks amazing. One of the best
Yeah.
looking anime fighters I have ever seen.
Cool. Who that?
I have no idea.
Ram Lethal Valentine. Okay.
Okay, yeah, I think you're a second in front of me. They're it just looks so good. Like
Yeah.
visually awesome, and I love the character designs. I haven't played Guilty Gear in a while. Their games are usually tough in terms of being kind of complicated.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so they're not necessarily my favorite, although I've
Uh-huh.
had fun playing them. But like this one, it just looks so good that I was like, I gotta get it. I gotta buy it. Like I love what they do when they like even when they do the special like abilities and like there's a cutscene and it looks like it's pulled directly out of a cartoon. I'm like, yes, this is great, so great.
Mhm. Yeah, cool. I've never played Guilty Gear.
I think you would like it mainly because of the characters. Like they
Yeah.
have really cool looking characters. So we're starting up. Each day
Baseball.
they started with a new game trailer to kind of kick things off, and then they do their own, world premieres and stuff like that. So they usually show a few trailers, and then they'll have like a developer talk about a game for a little bit, and then show more trailers, and then also they'll do the charitable stuff, um, which I think should be coming up in a few seconds actually. Yep,
Yeah.
there it goes. So definitely donate if you can. Uh, no judgment if you can't. It's, everyone is strapped for cash right now, but it is going for a good cause or multiple causes that are good, I should say.
Hmm. Yeah, definitely if you can donate. I mean, it's difficult right now.
All right, so we're getting into the next games. I'm curious of what they're going to show because usually they've been good at showing smaller games first to kind of push them
Cool.
out because they usually get swallowed up by, the bigger names.
Cute little castle.
It looks like it's made out of paper.
It's hilarious.
Wait, is that a sheep?
I saw a sheep.
Oh, Castle Storm. Okay, okay. The original Castle Storm was crazy. So I can imagine.
Aren't you supposed to like break into somebody else's castle?
Yeah, you send out your own, I guess, minions, and they slowly march to someone else's castle. And at the same
Yeah.
time, the other person's minions march towards yours, and you use your castle's defenses to kind of keep it safe. But you have special characters or I guess champions that can do a whole bunch of crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Obviously,
I've
it's
seen the
humorous.
ads. Yeah, it always looks funny on the ads.
Oh, it has a co-op mode.
And the sheep again. The sheep came back. I'm guessing you can like throw a burning sheep or something at someone's castle. That's
That
pretty mean,
that's
but
so wrong and hilarious. Like,
yeah.
oh, it drops July.
Yeah, not bad. Not far from now.
Oh, we have another exclusive. Let's see.
Ranch Sim.
Oh my gosh, there's a sim for everything now.
Yeah.
Like, there's actually a, I think it was Farm Simulator, like, where they actually had a like a not a esport for it. Like
Wow.
I don't know how that even works, but it's interesting.
Maybe it's like timed.
Maybe see how well you can build up your farm.
Yeah. Oh, I want a golf cart. Did you just shoot a bison?
Oh, that's
Early
a bear.
2021 gives people a reason to live through Corona. Like you can
Yes,
make it. If you get to 2021, you get this game. Mm,
alpha gameplay footage. Okay, so
okay.
it's not finished. Oh, it looks snazzy though.
Oops, yeah, pretty. Rockfish Games present Everspace 2.
Oh, that okay. Interesting.
Hmm.
I never played the first Everspace. I might have to check it out. Well, this looks cool. I guess like a dogfighting game.
Yeah.
But it seems like he came from space directly to a planet without loading, and that's pretty awesome. That,
Yeah. Yeah. So you just go to another planet and like try to take it over,
I don't
like
know.
planetary conquest,
I mean, that
avoid the.
sounds dope,
Yeah.
but I don't know. There might be some like, political or something to that nature, or it might be multiplayer. Um, but yeah, I'm interested somewhat. It's those typical like space shooting games aren't necessarily for me. Not like that. I like the ones that are
Uh-huh.
old school that, there's bullets all over the screen and it's like a 2D thing as opposed to like a 3D.
Yeah, 2D awesome. Space
Yeah.
Invaders. Nope, nothing can top that.
I don't know. Galaga's pretty awesome.
Okay, that.
Speaking of which, since I think they're going to commercial for a sec. They announced a. Oh wait, are they going to commercial? Okay, no, they're gonna talk to the devs. Okay, cool. I'll save that for later.
Hmm. Oh, these are the devs for which is yeah, Rockfish. Hello.
That's such an interesting name, Rockfish.
I know, because I was like, okay, well, there's Rockstar, and then it's like Rockfish, which is a fish. I mean, maybe they were just really like catching rockfish.
I'm sure there's some type of thing they pulled from, maybe from their hometown or something.
Maybe. Now I want to Google it.
I knew it. This looks
It's like,
really nice.
yeah. Sherry British
I'm
bowl.
curious what you need to run it though on my. I'm pretty sure my PC would run it, but maybe not 4K. Depending,
Oh,
it depends on how
yeah.
they're optimized.
I
But
definitely can't run 4K on mine. You know, mine's a 9,000-year-old dinosaur. It still works great, though.
okay,
I can
open
barely
world
do
RPG. Okay,
Oh, is it?
yep.
Comes out in September.
It's interesting that you're playing an RPG, like open world RPG, but it looks like you're always in your ship. You don't actually get out of it.
That's interesting. Hmm.
And this
It's
is
very pretty.
this was through Kickstarter. I want to say they kickstarted the first one too. Um, so their fans paid to have it, you know, completed. So it's really cool to see that it's actually coming to fruition. Like they didn't get into because a lot of things with Kickstarter, they typically there's a lot of I'll just say there's a lot of negative stories with Kickstarter of things
Oh.
not going well because like you say you want you have like a certain budget, but
Mm-hmm.
then things kind of spiral out of control. Maybe some unforeseen issues pop up, and then also with your tier list, you actually have to you give people stuff. And
Yeah.
so like if you're like, if everybody who pays $100 for the Kickstarter, you get a t-shirt, but then the t-shirt cost is more than what you expected. So then you start pulling money
Mm.
from what you're going to use for the game, and then yeah. But no, this is it's cool to see that they've been working pretty hard on it and that it's going to be coming out.
It looks really pretty. Looks cool. Look at the shadows.
And I see that you can get multiple ships or different types of ships.
Yeah.
Okay, I might have to check this out then. That looks kind of cool. That does look kind of cool.
Oh, wait, did he just do a 360? I don't see the sun. I saw a big shadow, but I don't see any sun. I want to see it. You know me, I'm like a technical person. Okay, I see something. I need to know. I'm a person watching that movie. What's that space movie called? And I'm like, wait, why isn't her hair moving? That's me. I'm
Oh,
the Neil deGrasse Tyson of video games now.
well, that seems to be all the rage nowadays. If like hyper realistic, realistic games and
Yeah.
especially with Unreal, like being able to show like particle effects and all this other stuff.
Uh-huh.
Um, it'd be interesting to see like if the sound changes depending on like if you're in the space versus like on the planet and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember some of those like first instances of those types of things years ago. I was playing that game. I forgot what it was called on PS2. And PS2 like blew us out of the water with all the graphics.
Yeah,
There was one game, it was like this elvish, you could be an elf, you could be a dwarf. I can't remember what it was. It wasn't Lord of the Rings though, but it was very similar
hmm.
to the lore. And if you were an elf and you shot your arrow while you were in Elfland, like you could see it. Like if you just shot, you just shoot something and it disappears.
Right.
No, you would actually see it in the background.
Oh,
Like
that
if you
was
just shot
cool.
a random
Yeah.
arrow, you could see it go all the way down. You're like, wow, that was just a detail that they put into that game. Completely forgot what that game was called.
I remember I was hyped when I first saw that you shot an arrow at someone and like they died or something. You can go pick up the arrow, reuse it. I was like, what?
Yeah. I'm like, because that's realistic. I mean, obviously, if it's bent, it's not going to work very well, but
Right.
hmm.
Okay, so different types of ships, and they're different based on the class of ship. They're able to do different things and take on various enemies based on their. So like you have, I guess, a light ship, you can't take much damage versus a heavy ship, but then you're not
Mm,
as fast if you're a heavy ship.
yeah. I'd probably have such a hard time with this game. I'm
Just
not
like
good at
controlling
shooting
it.
anyway. I'm
Uh,
just I'm not good at this type of stuff. And then it's like you're like in space, so you're already moving. you
yeah,
know.
constant like drifting and such.
Yeah. Yeah, this is one of those games where I know I would just have to sit next to somebody playing and be like, yeah, ooh, cool, ooh, yeah, yeah, oh, try, ooh, yeah. And then when their fingers get tired, I'll be like, okay, yeah, I'll try it for a second, and then I die immediately, and then it's like, okay, are your fingers done? You ready? And he's like,
That's awesome. I actually,
I
in
would
the middle of
assume
you
though that
explaining
these
that, when
type
you
of
went through
games
the
would have
going
like
through the skull area, I whispered
a decent tutorial.
because I was
Because
just
even
like,
someone
I
who's
really love
who's
that. This game
played these
looks.
type of games
So far,
before,
we've seen
they
mm-hmm,
usually have their
sort of
own
above land,
way of
we've got
playing. Like they have
underground,
their
we've
own
seen
yeah,
controls and
we've
stuff.
seen
I
like
mean,
sort of
there's
dogfighting in
flight
space, and this
controls
is
that are similar
like
if
right
you have
here.
a
So
flight
and this
stick,
is
but
an open
outside of
world
that,
thing,
using a
and so
keyboard and
what
mouse,
is it like to sort of
they usually
fly
have different,
from one end of
different
this
setups.
world
Like this wouldn't
uh-huh,
be the same
to
as
the other?
playing like
It's
Star Wars
this is a
Battlefront.
just a
Like it would,
massive
I could see
interconnected
this being totally
environment.
different.
How long would that
And so
take?
I would imagine that they had a decent tutorial to kind of help
uh-huh,
people out. And then there's also the stuff that aren't. I mean, I know they're showing combat because they don't want to bore anyone, but
right, right,
earlier on they were showing the ship gather materials, which is where I was like, oh, you don't actually get out of the ship, you just do it yourself or do it in the
oh,
ship.
yeah, yeah,
So there's
yeah,
some downtime as well.
mm,
Mhm.
Okay, so he's saying it's not really sim-like. It's easier to get around. It's more arcadey in that sense. So that's
oh,
good. Looks like he's having some trouble here.
interesting.
That's
It
actually
looks
like my
fun.
favorite kind of game design is to
I'm
get
interested. I mean,
cocky to
it's
veer into an area where
hopefully
a
it,
bunch
it.
of high level stuff will totally kick your
Let's see,
ass. No,
September.
I love that. So speaking of which,
Hmm.
let's talk about the combat
Uh,
mechanics.
Calculating.
Is this
Yeah,
great?
because I'm also thinking
What
if
sort of
it's
additions have
something
been
that's
made since the
only on
first
PC,
game?
if it's coming to console. Because I know I
What
think the
were some of the
first
things that
one
you guys were really happy
eventually
about
did come to
tackling?
console. Because it's like, unfortunately, while it's cool that IGN is showing, I guess, smaller games sooner,
Uh,
even that, and they're getting the name out and stuff, it still kind of gets swallowed up by all the big stuff. Like they already showed, like for instance, yesterday during the PlayStation 5 reveal, they showed that GTA 5 is going to the PS5. And so it's
oh,
like, now granted that game is mad old, but it's like
yeah,
yeah, like Grand Theft Auto, Everspace, I don't know. Unless you're just into like space sims, then that's that would be obviously different. But
yeah,
if someone was like, I'm on the fence, like should I buy this or should I buy that? A lot of times people, especially now with people are kind of tight on their wallet, you're gonna buy something that you think you're gonna enjoy more so, as opposed to experimenting.
yeah,
Uh, so that's what
yeah,
it's like, huh? Well, I don't know. Hmm.
yeah. I hear you.
But it does look gorgeous. I like
It does.
uh the different ships. They keep switching them like without saying anything. And I'm like, oh, this is new. I like the
Holy
color on
crap!
this.
So yeah,
Uh,
there's a lot to unpack there,
Yeah, I
but
really
let's
liked that one. It
let's
had all the
start at the
color.
top.
It
So
had a
speaking of
bunch
which,
of
when
colors
did
on
you
it.
start to
It
get your
looked like
hands on
something
it,
off of like
and what
Ragnarok.
platforms
Like,
did you
yeah.
get to?
I like that just when he was coming out of that little spaceship thingamajigger and you could see the headlights on the, like, you could see the lights from the spaceship, and I was like, well, that's a nice detail.
Yeah, the
Thank
way
you.
the shadows and like this the even the like he blew up a ship and he flew through like the parts as they were falling
Mhm.
down.
Yeah.
That's really cool. It's I can see it's being really immersive. Like you can kind of get lost in the things you do. I would like to see if like I get it that it's a kind of like a open world RPG type of thing, but I wonder if there's a story or some type of plot that propels you. And if he said so, that's my bad. I was talking, but uh, I would be interested in that because I wouldn't want to. While it's cool to explore,
Incredible news. So
I would like to
if
get out of my ship
you're
to explore
liking
if
what
that
you're
was
seeing,
the sole
jump on
purpose.
that alpha
Mhm.
But
as
if
soon as
it's
you
not,
can.
I would like to know like what the
Hop on the
story
subreddit
elements
and
are.
everything. Give likes,
Right.
give feedback. I really love that you
Yeah,
guys
that
are
would be
working
nice.
dynamically with the
I'm
community to
reading
showcase
one of
games
the
someday.
comments, somebody saying, they would
Because
really like to have more of a
very eager to play
GTA
this, and
style
especially
space
once
battle
if
game.
there's a chance for it to hit
Like
consoles
a true
someday,
open
even
world that
more.
has amazing
That's
ship
super
battles
cool.
plus on-ground
Michael, thank you
battles
so
makes
much
sense.
for bringing Everspace 2
That would be
onto Summer
cool.
of Games.
I
Yeah.
mean, we
I
see
cannot
some
wait
of
to play
that
more.
in Battlefield, but that's more. I mean, it's based on Star Wars, so it's not exactly what they would be asking for. But yeah, that would be
Mhm.
cool.
Yeah.
Warhammer 40k Mechanicus, the tactical turn-based dungeon crawler that's coming to consoles later this year.
Oh,
Check it out.
tactical turn-based dungeon crawler. Okay, okay.
Mhm. All right. What are we doing now?
I'm a
After
fan
the massive success of the
of
PC release
tactical
of
turn-based
Mechanicus,
games.
we wanted
They
to
give you
bring
time
the
to
same
think and kind of
tactical
like
and
plan
lore-filled
your,
gameplay to console
where you want to
in a
go
way
and
that
stuff like
seemed
that.
more than just a simple port.
And some of them,
In
depending on
Mechanicus, you take control of the
who's
most
developing it,
technologically
like
advanced
they could
army
get
in the
really
Imperium, the Adeptus Mechanicus.
in depth in
In the
like the things
grim,
that you can
dark
do in
41st
customization and
millennium,
stuff like that.
as Magos Dominus Faustinius, you'll lead the expedition on the newly rediscovered Necron planet of Silver
That's
Tenebris,
very
where you'll
interesting.
customize your team,
Oh, look, it's
manage
Skeletor.
resources, discover long-forgotten tech, and control your tech priest's every move as you battle the merciless enemy. We wanted to deliver these mechanics in a way that stayed true to the IP and brought Mechanicus and the world of 40,000 together seamlessly and effectively. That said,
kind of,
let's take a look at these features.
it just reminds me of like childhood
Big
for
part of
some
Mechanicus
reason.
is
I
the
don't know
large array
why.
of
They do
With
look
customization
like
better graphics.
toys from like
we
a
call this
distance.
augmentation.
Yeah.
And this is how you level up your tech priests. As your augment capacity increases,
Okay,
you can
so
attach a variety of different weapons.
You can
and
change.
upgrades.
Oh, you can actually
From melee weapons such as the
you can
power
add
axe,
weapons to their
powerful
bodies
ranged
and stuff
weapons such as the phosphor blaster,
outside of just like
to the
handheld
refractor
weapons.
field generator, which shields your allies from dangerous attacks.
Okay,
Or
now
Sector's
everybody just
canister
battle
can
royales.
control
What's
this
going on
package
here?
to your next offensive move. Here
I
from
think
the
it might be a
crypt of the
team of
Chaostus
characters.
Metallicon, you can choose which mission to take. Missions are delivered to you as requests from your highest ranking crew leaders.
Interesting.
New storylines will unlock based on previous missions you've completed, and which ones you choose
Oh, okay.
will affect
So new
what happens within
storylines
the
will
story of
unlock based
Mechanicus.
on
Some will
the things you've
expire
done
if
in
you leave
previous
them
missions.
unattended for too long.
Okay.
So I guess
Your
how you
choice has to be a
behave or how you
strategic one.
complete them, if you
That
fail,
choice is something
that
that we
sort of
wanted to
thing
give
will
players throughout the
alter
game, from how you
the course of the
customize your
story.
tech priest, to which units you take on a mission, to the decisions you make on that mission. Choice is a massive part of the game.
This is
It
an
enables you to play
interesting
the game
one.
exactly how you want to.
I always
All
like
the
to hear
way
player
to
choice.
3
It's
alternate
always
endings
interesting.
that you
But
develop
you know,
depending on your playstyle.
a lot of times when I
It's
find
really
games
up to
like
you.
that where there's choice,
The
like you
story
can
of
decide to be good
Mechanicus
or bad
crosses
or
the
whatever the
paths
case,
of the Adeptus Mechanicus and
I
Necrons like
tend
no other
to
game, and was
not
written
play them again
especially by
Uh-huh.
Ben
because I
County,
feel like I
one of
made my
Black
choice.
Library's most
Like
esteemed
if I chose to be a good
you are
guy
tasked with defeating
and
the
I
Necron
chose to
forces
save
lying
someone or
dormant on
not
the
save them
planet
or
of
whatever the
Silver
case,
Tenebris.
to me I feel
Searching
like
the
I
Necron
made the right
tombs,
choice at
we
that
will
time,
uncover
Right.
regardless of the
fragments
outcome. So it
which
makes
you
it
can
hard
use
for
to
me to go
upgrade your
back.
tech.
I
The more you
understand.
search, the more STC
Yeah,
fragments
because
you can
you made the
potentially
choice
discover.
on, like, especially
However,
you made a
be
choice on
warned,
who
the
you are
longer you spend in
inside.
the tombs, the
Right.
more Necrons you
Exactly.
risk
I mean,
alerting to
and
your
so it's hard
presence, and
to,
the harder the
especially the
mission
games
becomes.
where
Each
a certain
chamber may
role
offer
is
great
more
rewards.
difficult.
Like
Like,
all
you know,
good
if you're a
video
bad
game
guy,
narratives,
the
there is
game
a
is,
risk as
you know,
danger
5
may be
times
just
more
around the
difficult. It's
corner.
like, well, why do I want to be a bad guy then? Like,
Yeah.
That danger
that's
comes
not
in the form of
very
encounters.
Yeah.
All
fun.
encounters begin with a deployment
The only
sequence
way I can
where you
see
take
wanting to go
population
back is if the
units.
game was
This
so
could be a
fun that
small
you're like,
area
oh my
or a
god, let me
guided
see if I can
deployment,
play this as a
mixing
different
up
type
each
of
and every
person, and
combat.
then, like, because you have, but that's
Each
because you have
encounter will
nothing
have an
better to do.
objective.
Right.
This can be
Like you have
completed
so
to
much
either
fun
end the
playing that
encounter
you're like,
or
I
progress
don't
to
mind
the
going
next
through it
hidden
again,
objective.
and then you just try
Combat takes place
different
in a
things,
turn-based
you know,
tactical system.
Yeah.
as you come
Every
about them,
unit
as
has its
opposed to
own
like I
initiative,
want to play to see
represented
that
on the
other
top
way.
bar.
It's like, nah, I
This is
just
the
want to
order in
play.
which units will take their turns.
Yeah.
A unit has a set movement and a selection of
I
actions
mean,
they
I
can
did
choose
try
from.
playing that one Tomb Raider
Mechanicus
game,
have no action
and I
points.
did
You
make the,
simply move
like when
and
she got
shoot
into
as much
arguments
as
with
you can.
people,
There is, however,
and
a
because you could
mechanic
like
that is
choose
very
what she
unique
said,
about
Angel of
Warhammer.
Darkness, Tomb
This is
Raider,
the
and then I
Yeah.
like chose the wrong thing because I was like, well, this
Admission points
person's
are played in
being,
many different ways,
a
either during
douchebag,
encounters
and
or
so
during
I
exploration.
chose one of the
These points
thing,
allow
and then I got
categories
killed
to move
immediately. I was
above
like,
and
well,
beyond
you
by
can't play the
activating the
game
powerful weapons
like a
and
jerk.
abilities to
So
allow
yeah,
us
so
to
in
Because
move
that sense,
faster
yeah, you
and
definitely
more
want to pick
confidently.
something else.
Mechanicus aims to set the standard when it comes to aligning the
like,
game
that's
with
not
existing
working for us
40k lore,
here.
but we also wanted to go one step further
But
by
aside from
really
that,
exploring this
it
and
looks similar,
ground Mechanicus
excuse me,
in
to
40k
most
history.
uh,
We did this partly by creating
turn-based
new
games.
locations,
There's some
such as
interesting things
inside of the
with
Arc Mechanicus. For
to
some of those
augmenting the
missions where you
characters
battle
and
heretical tech
how
priests,
that
usually
works
the
with
Arc team at
your
Bulwark
entire group
Studios
to
would study the
synergize your
physical
abilities and
models and
stuff like
images
that.
to
But
painstakingly
aside from
create the
that,
video game version.
and it looks
With the
cool. But aside
absence
from
of
that,
any reference for the
it
inside of
seems
the Arc
like a
Mechanicus,
normal,
we had to
and it's not
improvise.
necessarily a bad
We
thing,
worked
but
very
a
closely
normal
with Games Workshop to create the location while
turn-based
keeping it
strategy
true
game.
to existing lore.
Yeah.
And as you see, the finished article looks
Because the bad thing
amazing.
with
As well as new
any
locations,
announcements
we
that I
also
see,
created
it's like they're
brand
like,
new,
this game is
never
different,
before
this game
seen
is
characters
unique,
and bosses,
and I'm
some of
like,
which are
it
available at the
is it
end of
though?
several special
Yeah.
found in the new console edition.
Like,
To
I mean,
complete
it
the
looks
action, we
different, but
implemented a range of
Looks
bespoke
cool.
sound and visual effects that really make the Mechanicus weapons come to life. Having never been represented before in live
Yeah,
action,
this looks,
we
it
converted
looks cool.
images from
A lot of
codexes
green.
and
They
models
really
into
like that
visual
color.
animated wonders. From the blast
yeah,
of
they
the Gamma
do.
pistol to the large eruption of energy from the torsion cannon, we again wanted to make sure they were true to the existing lore. Along with the
Interesting.
aesthetics, we also had to combine them with impressive sound effects that would match up with the visual
Well.
firepower. We did this by creating specific and granular sounds for all units and weapons, giving an
What's the name of this
everlasting
game
impact.
again?
We're really
I
excited
don't
about
know.
Mechanicus
It's a
coming to
Yeah, I
Warhammer
didn't
console
see
game.
it.
because of the wealth
I
of
didn't see the
content
name
they've
when
added
it
to the
popped
game.
up.
The console version not only contains
I
the
think they'll
base
show it
theme,
up again at the
but
end.
also the
They
Heretic
typically
Phantasy,
do.
which exposes the dark
I know it's a
underbelly of the
Warhammer
Adeptus
game,
Mechanicus
and
faction like never
that's kind of
before.
like
Brand new narrative events,
you think of
again
like
written
Dungeons
by
and
Ben
Dragons.
Counter, allow
Yeah.
They
players
have
to
their own
uncover
series of
what has
games
brought civil
and lore and
unrest to
everything.
Caiaphas and
Same thing with
Metallicum.
this. It's another
You'll take on
tabletop
new but
type of
familiar
game
enemies in a
that they've
cohort of
branched off into
heretic
video
tech
games.
priests that have
And
changed
so
their
it,
beliefs
it
and
it
forsaken the name of
happens
the
within the
Omnissiah.
lore or in the
Your
world of
job will be to
Warhammer.
stop them
Yeah.
But as
from
far as
HQ
where and what
and your ship
time,
from
I'm not
within.
sure.
But the content
Right.
doesn't stop there.
Because
The
like
special
Warhammer is like
Omnissiah
all over the
edition is
place.
also
Like
packed
there's
for the console version.
like knights
This
of
gives you access
and
to the stunning
giant rat
Mechanicus
people and
soundtrack,
stuff like
the
that.
Wow,
breathtaking
giant rat
digital artwork,
people.
Yeah,
and
it's crazy. And
That.
then there's
spectacular
like
weapon, the Arc
robotic people, kind of like
Scourge.
what we're seeing here.
Mm-hmm.
So the timing is like all over the place in terms of like
The
years.
wait, though, is
Um,
nearly over.
it's like
We're
spells
excited to
and
announce that the
swords and
console
then
version of Warhammer
bazookas and
40,000
chainsaws.
Mechanicus will be
Mm-hmm.
available to play on
Oh,
July the 17th.
July
Well,
17th.
Releasing on
just around the
PlayStation 4,
corner.
Xbox One, and Switch,
And it's coming to,
you
oh
will
wow,
soon
it's
be
coming to
able
Switch
take the
too.
fight to the
Okay.
Necrons
Yeah.
and conquer the tombs of Silver Tenebris. In the meantime, you can follow us on Facebook and Twitter at
Interesting.
I might look at
40K
and
for all the latest
I'm gonna have to-
updates in the build-up to
Warhammer.
release.
Hmm.
there we go. Warhammer
We hope to see
40,000
you there, and
Mechanicus.
stay
I would
safe.
I would mind checking it
Hey
out.
there. Video
But
games
I'm
are a
not
wonderful
super
way to
intrigued.
experience the thrill of activities that might be extremely
Wait, does he
painful in
have
your
Enter the
life,
Wu
such
Tang
as
behind him?
kissing. But Skater
What?
XL lets you
And
enhance
Wild
the
Style?
to your heart's
Yeah,
content.
he does.
Threat of shattering your
All
femur
right,
or
he's the
tearing
homie.
your
That's
ACL.
that's
I actually
cool.
don't know what those letters
He's
stand
I
for.
actually follow
What's coming
him.
up
definitely.
next right after?
I
Let me
follow
take
him
a
on
quick
Twitter. I need to
painless commercial break, which might have
I
a
need to
little
mention
bit of meaning.
how
Who
dope that
knows?
is. He had
Just a
Wild
little
Style
bit.
and
Could be there, might not be
Enter
there
the
at all.
Wu Tang.
You'll just have to watch and find out.
IGN Summer of Gaming is brought to
I'm like,
you by
what?
Caesar, who will be partying with us all summer long.
I was gonna say something before. Darn it.
Yes, you were going to say something. You thought we were going to commercial, but we didn't.
What were we watching right before then? Oh, right. So speaking of Galaga, yesterday they showed new so Arcade 1UP makes these miniature versions of arcade machines. And they're pretty decent size. Like they're not miniature like they fit on your desk. Like you have to put them in the corner somewhere in your house. And they showed Miss Pac-Man, which is really hard to find in
Wow.
any version. Like it's really hard to find an arcade machine of Miss Pac-Man because it was so popular. And they only
Yeah.
made but so many, and a lot of them got destroyed over time. And so the fact that they were able to, and it doesn't just just call it Miss Pac-Man. It has other games because they usually have like 3 or 4 games to choose from. within the same cabinet. Uh,
Uh-huh.
but the fact that they have Miss Pac-Man, like that's amazing. Like I was like, I have to get one of these. I just have to. Um,
Yeah, Miss
but
Pac-Man.
one of the games that it has is Galaxin, which is another space shooter. So I was like, oh, cool.
Okay.
It would have been better with Galaga, but I'm okay with that. I'm okay. I'm all right. Miss Pac-Man does it for me. That's cool.
Love Miss Pac-Man.
But yeah, they had a
That's
few
awesome.
others. Oh, your game, X-Men versus Street Fighter
What?
and Marvel versus Capcom. They had a cabinet with that too. They announced. I believe it's X-Men versus Street Fighter, Marvel versus Capcom, and something with Marvel superheroes. I can't remember,
Hmm.
but it has the basically the games that you were playing before, like with Rogue and whatnot. That's in a they announced that arcade cabinet, and
Wow.
I was like, oh, this is awesome, so
Yeah,
awesome.
because Marvel vs. Capcom 2 was the best.
They don't have the sequel unfortunately yet. I think that's something that they're gonna announce, eventually, and it's gonna have a bunch of games to go with it, and I'm definitely getting that one as well. So that's what we're
Mhm.
waiting for. We're totally waiting for a Marvel's Capcom 2.
Yes. It's important to our livelihood, our mental livelihood. We need it.
Yeah, it would definitely be a boost. Yeah, definitely be a boost.
Skater XL is a hot new skateboarding game that encourages you to chain together tons of death-defying skate tricks without having to worry about face planting in front of your friends.
All right,
in
so we
real
have
life.
a
You
skateboard
can
game
go
coming
outside and
out.
do that if you want.
Oh,
Here to
that's
tell me more
fun.
is
I
Jeff
never
from
played Tony
Lazy
Hawk.
Day Studios. Hey
Well,
guys.
Really?
I shouldn't. Well, yeah, I didn't play it. I was more of a SSX person, so I was always playing snowboarding. And my friend had Tony Hawk, so I could only play it if I ever went to her house, and that used to only happen when we came home from college.
Really cool to see it.
Okay.
And so I tried playing Tony Hawk once, and the controls were so different than SSX that I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna watch you play. Yeah. This looks fun. Skater XL.
And do all that like portable on the go is just cool.
Now this is cool because from what I've seen, you actually control each foot, similar to EA's skate game, and so it kind of makes it feel like you're doing the tricks as opposed to Tony Hawk, where you kind of like held down a button and then you kind of jumped, or and like kind of like glued to surfaces when you hit the triangle button. Whereas this is like you have to line, your feet up so that your board actually, you don't flip out and like fall and kill yourself. Um,
Yeah.
and while that's obviously more complicated, it's also cooler. Like as a person who used to skateboard, like that
Mhm.
just seems really cool. And then this one also was cool because it's like an open environment, so anyone can kind of skate and like just do tricks wherever, all over the place.
That's
Um,
fun. I like that.
and it has different. I want to say it has different celebrity or skaters, and you can customize your character and stuff like that. Um, but in its current state, I don't think it allows for multiplayer just yet.
Okay.
So I believe you're just by yourself, and that's it's something that is early. It's in early access currently, and it's going to eventually come to when it releases fully. It's going to come to console as well, and it's supposed to add more stuff as they go along.
Mhm.
Because right now although it's cool in terms of mechanical, it's not very pretty. It looks like it's not done, which
Yeah.
it isn't because it's in early access, but it looks really not done.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then they also have this thing where you can actually actively record yourself doing stunts, similar to how real skaters will have like a camera on their helmet or something like that,
Yeah.
or they'll have someone film them, film like your sets or whatever. So they do have stuff like that, which is really cool.
That's good. Yeah, it definitely looks like this. This was actually just reminding me of like computer games from the 90s
Yeah, and
right
like
now because we
and
played
like
stuff similar to
and it looks like early PlayStation games too.
this. Yeah. Kind of like early Grand Theft.
Oh goodness. You know, I think Grand
Right.
Theft looks better than this.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's
Like
definitely.
like Grand Theft Auto 3, it just I guess it felt more detailed. Granted, this is I want to say this is a bigger environment, but uh
Yeah,
Yeah, that's interesting because
looks
there's
huge.
more
yeah,
Looks
stuff
like you can
in
go
the Warhammer
anywhere.
games that makes you feel like there'll be a release of your
Yeah,
favorite
it looks
genre
like you can
every
go
year for a while there
anywhere.
is, and then it just goes away. So I'm happy to
I
see you
don't know
guys are coming
why
out
it
with these.
feels
I think
familiar.
another
Like
really
I
cool
remember playing some
skateboarding
game
game
on a
that
bike or
makes you
something.
want to go outside
I
and
don't
immediately
know,
start skateboarding on everything, or
like
basically looking at
years ago
everything
on a
through the
computer
eyes of
somewhere.
a skater now that you've been playing a game.
But
oh,
But
probably
the
probably
environments that
because
you
they've
guys
had
have in
like
your game are based on real world environments. Is
trick-based
that correct?
bike games as
yeah,
well.
Absolutely, yeah. What we have coming for
And then they
the
also were
release of
saying
the
that they
game
had
is
uh
maps that are based
like
off
real clothing lines that you can
real
like you
terrain
can
and
buy
things
and
that really
stuff like that.
go
Not
and
buy with real
associate
money, but
with
like in game.
skateboarding and what skateboarding means to
yeah.
people,
And
which
like
is
customize your board and
coast to
stuff like
coast,
that. So
California,
there's some it's
downtown
promising.
LA,
There's some promising things here,
schoolyard spots.
but I need them to kind of
These are things that
it would be
for
cool to have
anyone that's sort
people
of been
around. Like I know
watching
you don't want them to like
skateboarding or has
be in
watched
the
skate
way,
video over the
but
years, like
I don't want it to be like
features
I
that
am
you
legend where
find
I'm
in
the
these
only
sort of
person
indie
here and I just happen to
That's
be
what it
skating.
feels like right now, and it's kind of scary because I'm like, next thing I know, I'm waiting for the dogs from Tomb Raider to come out because what else is there? There should be some other people. I would love to see other skaters. I would love it to be a kind of thing where if it's online, you're skating, and then maybe some other people are skating because they're playing the same game.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
locations that are all designed into these
And I
VR
think
environments.
that's
Now,
eventually what they're going to
is
do
this
is allow
downtown
for
LA right here?
more people to kind of jump into
Yes, we are
an
in the
Okay.
instance of a game and skate together.
Koreatown. Yep.
Um,
Yeah, because I
but
was
it's like
getting
yeah, it just looks so
made
dead
me
right
weirdly
now.
nostalgic for like the E3 Convention Center area, especially because we're going to be going to that this year, and this might be my closest opportunity to go,
All right.
especially
It's
with
for the Switch,
no
right?
crowds or anything is maybe the best.
No,
What's the thing that you
this is
feel?
on PC currently.
What's the thing you feel like you
Is
have to
it?
get right? Yeah,
Yes.
that's right up there. There's like video
And it
game
will
ads
be
on those
coming
big billboards every single year.
to
This is like really really cool to
Yeah,
see
Xbox and
right now.
PS4, I believe.
yeah. I think last year
Xbox One and
Doom
PS4.
maybe had a
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Oh, that's
and the
awesome.
launch date is
And
actually this
I'm
and
getting
you'd
year,
have
very nostalgic.
I believe.
you do the coffee
Oh my God!
runs and
Somebody
the
just said
road
this looks like a student
gateways for
project. Big oof.
training
I
sessions as
mean,
well.
yeah.
Yeah.
No offense to the developers,
We have
obviously, but it's like
reconfigured things a
it
little
does kind of
bit.
look kind of bad right now. It's
Very
the
much
showing.
with
It does look
gameplay
kind
from
of
the first
like it needs a little
FPS.
polish.
Hmm.
So that's our
Maybe
core
if
focus
they,
on everything is that
I don't want to say
gameplay
spruce
Mhm.
it up
through the
for the
real
show,
spot.
but because
We
then that
have
would
to make
it
sure
wouldn't
it's
be
fun and
indicative of
not
what you're
you
getting.
know
So at least they're being
something
honest in that sense.
perfect to real life that
Um,
doesn't skate game with
like
the same
this would
mechanics. So
probably
it's getting
appeal
that
mostly to
balance of like
hardcore skaters
keeping the
who
essence of what
can't go
makes the
out
spot
right now.
memorable and recognizable,
But even
Okay.
then,
but
like
making it work the
Skate and
gameplay at the
Skate
same time.
3, like they're
And one
or
of the
Skate
things
2
you've
and
done
3,
here to
they're
make sure that is you've
mad cheap
removed
right
all
now.
of the security guards
So
who are always standing
and
outside of
those
the
are
LA
fully
Convention
fleshed
Center.
out EA games.
Um,
So
one
you
because
know
they're
that's
pesky, and two
you
because
would
those
probably pick
security
those.
guards are the
And then
known
also
enemy of the skater.
was it Tony Hawk the remastered
Absolutely, and
also comes out in
if
September, I
if
think. The
if things
remastered
are
of
kind of
Tony Hawk 1 and
repeated, what's
2
powerful
Mhm.
about it
comes out or is
is
coming out to
some of the
the
games of the past where
current gen
you
consoles. So it's
typically have the
like,
function
do I really want?
of
Do I
having the
want? I
environment
don't
is
know.
the thing that's challenging
Skater
and
XL. I
interesting,
don't
and then
know.
having
Yep.
sort of elements of the gameplay that are
I'm
different
just reading some of this stuff,
and
and
control
this
of the
person's
past
like, "So you run
maybe
around
was
and
the wrong
skate,
moment.
no
So
quest to make
to point out
combos
as
or
well that
stylish look."
it's not quite a full version of
Oh,
Aegis.
some
There's
people are silly.
some things that have been
Well, I mean, it's
changed to
kind of.
bring
I
it
can understand it though. Like,
to life
Yeah.
a little more.
and that's why I said this
So
might
more of
appeal
that
only to like really hardcore
Mhm.
skaters.
Maybe
Now,
it'll appeal to mailmen. There's a
skating
lot of
is in real life all
mailboxes.
about physics. It's about
Just a
momentum
lot of them.
There
and
are like it's
landing
definitely
and making
a
sure that you can
reused
link everything together. What's the hardest
item
thing about
or
getting the
resource.
physics right in a skateboarding
I've
simulation?
never seen as many mailboxes in my life, and I used to look for mailboxes all the time, especially when I was working in
Well,
DC.
I'll,
Like
I'll
you
put it
can
this way
never
then.
find a
What's the
mailbox.
thing that you felt like you
I want to go
absolutely
to where this
had to
place
get
is.
feeling
I think you said this was
Except I don't, 'cause
in
downtown
real life
LA or
skating that
something
you
like
really,
that.
really wanted to make sure was
also
like one of the most
empty, and I'm not
rewarding
really
things to get
feeling
done.
it.
Yeah, and
Yeah, this is a
this is a
28
very, very
days
interesting
later. All we
thing, I
need is
think,
like
for
overturned
Doom as
cars
a
and
game
stuff.
that
That's it.
not to get
This
too
is
much
definitely
into
post-apocalypse.
the weeds,
Hey, it would be a
but
skater's
I
dream
think
at
for
that
us at
point.
least, the evidence is there with
But I
Nobody's
mean, like,
around.
the early
it
You
would
can
only
access
skate on
work.
version
top
of
of
the game. We see the
cars.
response that it's had.
Yeah, it would only
We
work
feel like
honestly
we
if they
really,
were. I get it. Like there's to be gamified, right? Because like having a high score, having like a timer that like you can try to do as many moves as possible, skating with people, um, stuff like that would make it go further than just skating. And not that skating by itself is bad, but as a video game, it's like I don't know. There's some things that just don't work. Like for instance, you don't need like a high score in a boxing game
Oh,
because the idea is to compete, right? But like when you're
Yeah.
skating, in this sense, you're not really competing with anyone. You're just kind of practicing, I guess.
Yeah.
As you move the sticks, you feel and see immediately the response to that. And you have this
But yeah, I
difference.
do like
You
the
know, it's much
like you
more like
said,
learning to play music.
moving the two analog sticks
That
and
it
that's
is
controlling
unlocking
each
some
leg and
challenge designed into the
so like
game
even
and
the
the
stuff that
whole
he's
game
doing right
itself.
now is probably difficult to
There was
do
a well-known
Probably.
on a controller.
control
Excuse me. So it's
game
interesting,
designer from
but
Ubisoft who did some very good
personally,
tutorials
I think I would need
behind that
more.
about expressive control
I
design.
think
And that's
Yeah.
so.
stuff we took to heart
Definitely need
in
more.
that. That really resonated with us.
And I think
There's
that
something about skateboarding. There's a reason why
Yeah, I want to be able to
kids
like
get
go into a
such an
store
important
and like
place
buy a new
in
board.
around the world as a
Like since
culture.
if we're gonna be skating around the whole
There's so much
city,
more to skateboarding
then
than
I
yeah.
think it'd be cool to like,
lifting some blocks
be
above the
like go
track.
to the skate shop
You can be working on your ollies and kickflips
Oh, that would be
and
do. And then
for
like
pro
if the skate
skaters
shop, oh
in
God,
the way
he's
they
really
do those
wiped out
basic
there. If the skate shop was a hub
you've
of sorts for other
yeah,
the basics,
skaters,
the way you
exactly.
execute them. So that's something that we wanted to capture was the feeling that it's more an extension of you. It's kind of
but
like
yeah, I remember playing Tony Hawk
if
a
you
while back,
happen to play
and
an instrument, you sit
I
down
really
after
enjoyed that
3 years
series.
and
Tony
play
Hawk was
the same
cool.
song
It
that you
was
played
cool.
10
Mm-hmm.
years in.
The
I mean,
music was
everybody
really
does it.
good,
A lot more
and
expressive.
it was
Your
kind of like
ability
what
to play
GTA
that and
did,
really put
or what
some
GTA was for
style
like
into what you're doing.
crime,
And it seems like a
crime
great finale
games.
to go from
Uh,
Well,
skateboarding
was
to
what
but
Tony Hawk was for skaters. Because before that, like I played
that
like
image I think we're able to
like
bring
Skate or
together
Die on the
hand over
NES.
hand when
oh
you
yeah, a lot of
when you
people
play
played
with
Skate or
people.
Die. I think I even
You
played Skate or
really
Die.
keep
That
evolving
was a
in
rough game.
the way that you
It was
execute
rough.
things and what subtle
And
feats
Skater
you
Die
can
2.
do
I had
and
that
the way that
game.
you can
I think I
spin
still have it
blocks
actually.
and the number of things you can do as you
Definitely
float
a rough
around is
game.
just
But that's
really
all we had
limitless.
skateboard wise.
Very
Yeah.
sandboxy style
Stuff like
gameplay
that.
in
And
interesting
so
environments.
Tony Hawk was really like
I love it.
when it came to the PlayStation,
I
that was
appreciate that
really a
you
huge,
sort of put that in there.
huge
That it
game.
does feel more like a musical instrument. It does feel more free
Yeah.
form, because that means it's going to take a long time to
I really thought that I was going to be
perfect
able
it.
to play
And
Tony Hawk just like I was playing
as people
SSX.
are looking
It's
for
like I got my
ways to
friend
continue
into
to
it,
their
and she was,
jujitsu.
the big Tony Hawk
Hopefully,
fan.
you don't have to
And
wait
then I
for a long
just
time
playing
to
it. I
play
was
this
like,
game because it's
wow,
coming
I'm
out in
terrible. Like I
July.
just
It's
couldn't get
coming
my
to
head around
PS4,
it.
Xbox One,
Basically, I feel like I
Switch,
only learned how to
and
play,
PC.
on PlayStation for SSX
Yeah, I know.
and for Dynasty Warrior. So it was like,
In a
what the heck
nutshell,
is this?
it's the first
I
You
feel
know?
you.
come to all major platforms.
SSX was great
We
too.
keep
They
saying
need to
Mm.
remake
Skate for
that.
Skate. In 10
I'm
years,
waiting.
Skate wasn't on
Like
PC, so
That
I
game
waiting.
want
was
to bring
fun.
skateboarding at
Like
the
I know
really.
the radio station was the best.
Yeah.
Olympics in 2021 now. The Olympics are being
It's
rebooked.
day, huh?
It's
Like,
growing all around
Yep,
the
that
world.
and Jet Grind Radio. And I like Jet Grind
A
because
little bit of
it had
mixed sort of
graffiti.
feelings, I guess,
You
about
had to actually
hmm
go and
how
tag places,
competitive skateboarding
and
oh,
turns
nice.
being
to
hip hop
skaters
head
and all that. But
and
when
artist, it's like yes,
skateboarding
graffiti is
is
great.
coming back,
Yeah.
Um,
and
don't
our goal
don't
is to
tag
continue
places in real life, folks. I'm not saying you should do that. I'm just
Right.
saying
connect with many
We're
uh,
people as
not
possible. And
condoning
unless
that.
it's a racist
you know,
monument, then you can go ahead and
hopefully
tag.
Thank
we can
you.
bring
I'm
the
not mad
Please
at that.
do.
the Switch, which
Please
is kind
do.
of
I'm not mad at that
We
at all.
so
support
strong and
you.
such a powerful platform. And
I mean, man, that Robert E.
bring out
Lee
all the
statue
we're
looks
excited
great
for.
now.
It
All right.
does.
Well,
It
guys,
Looks
thank you
is
so much for
amazing.
joining
is
me today. I
significantly
really enjoyed Pro Skater
improved
XL. I think I'm gonna play
over
more
the
of it
last
because
few
it just
days.
feels right.
It
I
has.
mean, I don't
Always want
forget
to
I
look
went
at
to Robert E.
supportable
Lee High
skateboarding games
School,
again.
so I mean,
We
I
know we're not
can't
going
say
anywhere
go tag
anymore,
the
but
school.
we'll
That
make
would
the
be
best of it.
wrong.
That's
But
Skater XL. Thank you all so much for
but
I
I
watching.
did go.
mean,
Thank you guys for joining us, and we'll
Just
see you
I'm
soon.
saying,
saying I personally wouldn't be upset. Is all I'm saying. I'm not saying you should
you
do
know,
that, but
not
I
saying
wouldn't cry.
You.
I wouldn't.
Yeah. You. Did you know that
Definitely.
you can get more of the summer of gaming content by downloading the TikTok app,
Yeah.
following IGN, and
See,
searching
they're
r/summer
saying
gaming
to download the
hashtags?
TikTok act. I'm
Oh,
not
you didn't know
doing
that?
that.
Wow.
I
No,
don't
Thanks for your
want
time
to
then.
TikTok, and that's not even me being old. It's just there's too many of these things.
Well, a good
it's
use
me
of your
being
time would be
old.
by donating to the project or the World Health Organization by clicking the links in the
It's like
video description
nah, forget
or
all
heading
that.
to donate.ign.com.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I'm
feel helpful
deleting my
and help make the
Facebook.
world a better place.
Warning you
Something
right
as simple
now.
as donating, and that's great.
I feel you. I have your number, so we're good.
Exactly, we're good. Like, yeah, I'm over. I can't. I just can't do the socials anymore. I can't keep up. And yes, I can't do TikTok. Oh wow, is he about to get stabbed in the back? That's terrible. Oh, he did get stabbed in the back. Death unknown. Well, he got stabbed in the back. What is this? Clue? What is
Okay, so it's a top-down investigative type game. Interesting.
I am pretty sure this is Sleuth, the new version.
Dude, I would be down for a new Sleuth.
I would too. Sleuth was awesome.
It always freaked me out when the killer was onto you.
Yes. Lucifer Within Us. It's not Sleuth.
Okay, I don't know anything about what we just saw. Like,
nothing.
that's the one thing I would say that's like kind of crazy with this showing. When they show indie games, they don't say much of it. They just show gameplay, but they don't show like a trailer of gameplay. They just show like a segment, and I'm like, what is going on?
Right.
13.
No clue what just happened.
Crap, I couldn't see what that was. Oh, 13 Sentinels. Okay.
Kurabe. Yeah, why are your hands lighting up?
I do like the art style here. This is really cool. I wonder if this is a text-based game.
Oh, where you have to type?
Or not so much type, but it's all like you're just talking for the most part. Like
Oh, right.
Like a novel, like a novel game.
Oh, gotcha. Your hair is like, seriously? Like what decade?
But that's what was that anime? Psycho 10, no. Crap, it was the anime I was telling you about a while back. Some of the characters have their hairstyle like that. It's like what time period?
It's so funny.
This might be a point and click game if it's not a novel based. But yeah, I really like the art. I honestly would like for them to show something that would make me understand though.
Right?
I mean, I get that things are happening, people are talking, something's going down between these school kids.
Something's going down. Like in my head, I think I was saying the exact same thing.
Yeah, like it seems important,
like,
but it's like
the obvious. Something is going down between these school kids.
Yeah, and where's
She had a gun.
Where's the signals come in? Like this is why
confused.
we need other people to do. And Atlas is awesome. Don't get me wrong, but I'm like, we need other people to do these reveals because I'm like, I'm so lost.
I don't know what this Ratchet for Now person is saying, but don't come for Digimon.
Digimon's
like,
great.
Don't ever come for Digimon. I will go hard for Digimon. Because at least Digimon characters don't get amnesia like Ash on Pokemon.
Oh my gosh. Ash is like literally 300 years old.
Seriously.
Alright, Sega, what you got? What you got? I see some mechs.
Is it Battleship? I mean, we saw the movie. It was terrible. Oh, my poor boy. I love that boy. He's like, it's a terrible movie. Okay, what's going on here?
Cinematics are cool in terms of getting the theme, but they're not really great when it comes to understanding like the gameplay. Like, what am I expected to do when I get into the game, that sort of thing. Like, I can't tell if it's first person, if it's third person.
All I know is that there's a bunch of Gundams.
Gundams.
Some things are happening.
Because this could be really cool, especially if judging on the fact that there's 4 mechs, that it could be multiplayer. And I'm down for that.
It could also be Voltron.
Nah. Why would you go against an airplane? I mean, Airplanes should not go against mechs. That doesn't make any sense.
So wait, it was a freeze bomb? Was that the whole point? He was trying to. It was a freeze bomb. I am now lost.
I think they're just trying to stop the ship for some reason. Oh wait, now we're out of the mech. Wait, what is this? Oh no, it's Phantasy Star.
Okay.
Phantasy Star Online. That is not indicative of the gameplay.
No, I had no clue what I was watching.
That's not. I've played Phantasy Star. I don't remember, and I'm not saying that there aren't any mechs, but I haven't seen that type of stuff before.
You know, one day when I grow up, I hope to too.
That was.
They said that was unexpected.
IGN Summer of Gaming is brought to you by
Oh my gosh.
who will be party
Yeah, I don't remember. I mean, that looked like really fun. Like, if Phantasy Star has that, there was a lot of hacking and slashing, fighting on the ground, monsters, that sort of thing. It's a anime-styled RPG, that sort of thing. I don't remember mechs and shooting at ships and flying. Like, that's a whole different game.
Yeah.
Maybe there's an expansion coming. That could be what that was. Like, maybe there's an expansion coming or something.
Maybe.
But I have, like, no idea. You know how commercials usually, after a while, they make you want to buy the thing that whatever they're showing?
Yes.
This is doing
like
the
this one
opposite.
says I paint an ice cream.
Aside from the ice cream, this is making me not want to ever see this again.
Yeah.
I've seen this commercial so many times with these, with what's going on, and I'm like, I'm kind of over it.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. Yeah, I'm sure. Look, still confused. I just feel like this is Walking Dead.
Oh, The Last of Us 2. Might as well be. Although this one, I played the first, and it was good. There's some sticking points in terms of like gameplay, but aside from that, it was a swell game. But some of the reviews I've read of this one is the opposite of good. Not that it's like totally a bad game or that you shouldn't play it. It's just to expect a level of brutality, and there's this idea that the game wants to make you feel bad for, you know, getting revenge and you know, killing people, but it doesn't give you a option not to, and so it tries to make the player feel bad about all this violent stuff, and it's more violence. It's not really, yeah, not to say that there isn't a great story there or that there aren't really good character development or anything like that. It's just, it's a lot of violence almost for the sake of violence.
Welcome back to IGN
Oh.
Summer of Gaming. Hey, you know what's more fun?
Oh,
At least
well,
from what I've read.
Sweaty
I
dudes
personally
with
haven't played
swords?
it. Let's take that with a
Right.
grain of salt.
Troy,
But a
let's
lot
help
of reviews are echoing the same things. Like you're not gonna be, you're gonna feel bad about what you're doing in the game.
I know, but like, who wants to feel bad while I'm supposed to be playing a game? I'm supposed to be
get it if
enjoying
it's-
my life.
I get it if it's done well. If it's done well and it makes you think in a way
Well,
that
I did not feel bad for bombing Queen Victoria playing Civilization. I dropped 6 nukes in her cities. I did not have any remorse.
let's see, we're looking at Total War Troy. Now, Total War is usually
This is the first time
great.
that the Total War series
Um,
has sort of been set in
RTS style game,
it's not only
strategy
that,
game, and they're usually really, really good.
I'm
I'm curious with the Troy setup.
Go so much back in time, all the way to the Bronze
They
Age.
usually hit like a different time period
So
or a
what are the
different
two sides that are at war here?
era.
I mean, obviously, we know,
Mhm.
but sort of
And,
set it
it's
up
really
for
interesting.
The version that you're going to be showing us.
You know, when it comes to like
Well,
their
the
political
game is
systems and stuff like that.
inspired by
Mhm.
Homer's epic, the
But it's
Iliad
also
and the
cool because they usually have
Odyssey.
these huge
So,
armies and these
the
huge,
two main sides that are
uh,
going to be on the Trojan War
you know,
are, of
encounters
course, on one hand the
with
Trojans,
you know,
and on the
several
other hand the Greeks or the Achaeans, as they were
I guess
called at
AI
the time.
controlled characters,
The game
and
starts
it
with this
still
whole
runs really well.
conflict
Like it doesn't
between
stutter,
where the
or
Trojan prince,
AI isn't doing
by
like
the name
crazy
of
stuff. There's not a
Paris,
lot of glitches and stuff
steals
like that. Like things you would
the wife
expect
of one of the Greek
from
kings by the
a
name of
game that's like that huge or
Menelaus,
that big.
and
Yeah.
sails her all the way to Troy, leading to what would later be known as the Trojan War.
Interesting. I mean, so far it's pretty.
So is Total War Troy going to feel familiar to
And I like
fans
how
of the
they're
Total War
actually
franchise?
they're taking the story.
Yes, it's going to feel familiar in the
You know,
way
when
that
they're
we're getting the
basically
main
beefing
formula of the
over a
game that
woman.
has always
Uh,
been around.
you know,
Because, you
someone's
know,
We are
that's how all
also
good
adding
wars
new
start.
features that are going to be
that and
seen for the
oil.
first time in a Total War game.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us about some of those new features.
All right, so you're talking about some new
one of the biggest new
features.
features that we're including is the new multiple resource economy that we have. Since this is the Bronze Age, and at the time they didn't really use a lot of money to trade,
I mean,
or
okay,
gold,
so
or coins, or anything of the sort.
okay,
What they
so you
usually
do get
used
to
was
play
goods,
story,
like people would trade
like you get to
wood
build up
for
your
food
wealth
and other stuff.
as a
So
nation.
what we did
I'm assuming.
is
Yeah, even
instead
in the
of
midst
having
of
just
war, I
one
think you have
resource
to,
with which you can use
you know, basically
to
play politics,
buy
trade with
anything
people and
in the
stuff like
game, in the
that
economy of the game.
to kind of
Mm.
There are
strengthen your
multiple
army,
resources, each of which
which
is
can be
used
difficult
for
considering
different
you're
kinds of
going
stuff.
to war with
Like the
another
food will
faction.
be used to support your armies, where wood and stone will be
But it's
used
always
to
interesting. Like I know right
construct new
now,
buildings and upgrade your
you know, they're
settlements,
showing like a lot of
whereas
screens
gold
and
would be
menus and stuff like
we
that,
still
and
have
that
gold,
typically
but
isn't
gold is a very
fun to
special type of
watch.
resource which is
Uh-huh.
used only
But when you're
for
actually in it
select few things.
and you're
And
trying to decide what to
one of the
do,
things
similar to
being
you bombing, you
with
know,
the
someone,
other new
uh,
system that we have,
it's cool because you
the
there's
divine
player
will
agency
system,
there. Like you like I'm
which
actually
is
controlling
our
this
representation
big thing
of
or
the
this army or
gods
this
of
nation, and
the
I get to
time.
kind of, you know,
Because as you
I don't want to say
probably
play
know,
God, but you play
people
like a
at the
king or
time in the
whatever.
Bronze Age were
Yeah.
very
And that's cool.
religious.
Once you
For
get kind of
them,
used
the
to how
gods were
everything
not
runs, so
just
to where you're not
something that they,
looking
some
up
of them
how to
believed
do certain
in,
things, like how do I barter
something
right now?
that
Like aside from
Yeah.
that,
they thought that the
typically, you know,
gods
typical
walk among
learning
them,
curve,
and they all
it's those things can
sought
be
the
really, really
favor of the
fun.
gods
You
in
can kind
one
of get
way or
into them
another. And we have also
you know,
represented that
I guess
into
role
Total
play
War
is what
Troy,
I'm looking for.
where you, as the
It
player,
looks
choosing your
fun.
nation,
It does.
can
Like, I mean, it reminds
choose a
me of playing
god
Civilization,
and
and
make
my
a war
issue with
in one
Civilization
and
is that
try
it's
to
just
gain
so long,
his or
and
her
it is a
favor.
very steep
And
learning curve.
that will lead you
Yeah,
to certain types
yeah.
of benefits inside the game,
But it
battle,
looks
or
I mean, it looks
campaign,
interesting, especially for people who like
etc.
this type of game.
So
I
speaking
know
of
that I
campaign,
used to
have
really,
you played
really
through
enjoy
already
this
and
type
get to
of
play
game.
both sides of this conflict?
But I realized that playing Civilization
Yes,
2 back
we're
in like
going to be
1990
able to choose
whatever,
from 8 different
totally different
factions,
than playing
each one
Civilization 6
being
in the year 2020.
on one of the sides, either
Correct.
the side
You
of the
definitely
Greeks
need to set
or
aside
the
time
side of the
or
Trojans.
be
But
okay
since this is
with
a total
only
war
playing
game,
so
you
often.
can
Um,
Yeah.
do
to
something
kind of give your mind a
radical and
break.
try to
But you
change
know,
your
for those people who
religions,
would
or
like kind of dive in,
play
or
it
if you have
your
the
way,
time to do
or
so,
just see what would
uh,
happen if Achilles would actually
you can get kind of
ally with
immersed
Hector
in this
instead
sort of
of
stuff.
Yeah.
fight him to the death. And so
I,
yeah,
I,
you could
I
also
kind of
do
I
that.
do like, I think one thing that I'm
Yeah, so talk a little bit
going to
about
enjoy
the
about
other
this game,
heroes
which
that
is
you're
kind of
going
what I
to
liked about that game Caesar, which was similar.
Well,
I played that on
there are a lot
computer
of
probably back in
heroes
like
that
2002,
are
2003.
Iliad and
Mm.
Odyssey, and it
It's
was
just
a really
one
hard
place.
time for us choosing
So,
which
you know, if
ones
this
we
is
wanted
taking
to
place in
make the
Troy,
epic
then
heroes,
it's
the
going to be a
center
limited history
of the Total
you know,
War
what's going on
saga.
there
Obviously, some
with
of
the
them
Trojans and the
are
Greeks, more than likely,
no-brainers, so to
Yeah.
say, because you
versus
can't have the Trojan War without having
Civilization, which is
Achilles,
the whole
without having
world.
Hector, without having
Right. And
Menelaus
so
on
in
the
that
front,
sense, there
and the
could be
whole
it could be,
war started
you know,
because of Paris, who is also
it
into
would,
the
you know, maybe
game.
not take as long. And
And
then there's also the
so
route you
we've
go.
tried
I
to
mean, in
pick
this
Yeah.
the
sense,
ones that
this is
were
like I'm pretty sure you
most,
have to go to war
how should I
because of
put
the
it,
Yeah.
premise.
most
However, how
influential
you get
or
there,
most
you know,
important
if you're
Mhm.
to it,
cutthroat enough, you might be
as
able
well
to,
as offer
you know,
the
speed things
greatest
up. I'm not sure if you
variety
would
of
be
different
successful in your
gameplay
endeavors,
mechanics on
but
them, because we wanted to feel
you
to
know,
make
there's
sure that
always corners you can
each
cut and
epic
things you can
hero
do that
feels
shortens
different
the
in the
Mhm.
way that
time.
they play, so that when the players choose to try out a new
But yeah,
hero
like
or
this
new
is what I'm talking
campaign,
about. Like
they can
outside of the political
experience it
stuff,
in a
like being
different
able
way
to pick,
with different
you know,
campaign
your
mechanics,
armies
different
and like
different
move
heroes,
them
different battle
accordingly,
abilities, battle
and things
mechanics,
that
and so on.
what's really cool for me is like when you do
And
something
then
like you
you can also take
flank
sort of more
an enemy,
fantastical
or
units into
you
battle
know
with
you
it.
Mhm.
So like
position your
for
archers in a
example, like a
such a way that
Cyclops.
like it looks like you're losing, you know,
Yeah,
they're
so
pushing through your forces, and then all
we
of a sudden
what
they
we
get
are
pinned between,
doing
you know,
is
two
one of our
squads
main
that you
design
have, and you
pillars
decimate them.
is
It's
to
like
show
I feel like
what
I did
is the
something
truth
smart, like I
behind
did,
the myth
like
Yeah.
behind
not that I would
this
be good in actual
age
war
that
or
we saw in the
anything,
past.
but
No, I
And
at first.
that
what
but like I
we know
the
that
idea that
every
like I
myth
could
and
actually
every
plan
legend
something and it
is
works out, like the
probably
Yeah.
AI was
some
smart.
sort of event or something that
Um,
really happened.
oh wow, this is like
So
happening on
we
multiple
try to
fronts.
Oh, do they
That's
have a
unravel the
version of this for
mysteries with
like the
time
Three
and see what
Kingdoms of China? Like that would be
actually
so
have
cool. I want to be
inspired
Zhuge Liang.
stuff like
dude, I
that.
Like,
think they
And
have.
one of the
There was
ways
one
we
that
do that
came
is
out a
like
few
with
years
the epic
ago that I want to say it
mythic
was set in
units
Japan.
that
I
you
have
can
to
recruit
check.
in your armies. Like one of the units you
that
That
would be
probably
cool.
Japan or China.
saw in our footage is the
I
military,
have to check.
who
But yeah,
is not
they
like a real
what's cool about
minotaur
Total War is
who
that
has
it's
who is
like I said,
half
it was different
bull, half
eras, different
human,
countries,
but is this huge
and
bull
time
of a
periods and all
man
that good
with
stuff. So
a
like
large
as
bone
opposed to like
skull on top
every
of
single
his
year they
head
do like
to
Troy, for
scare off
instance,
enemies,
they'll do
wielding
something
a
completely different
large
the
two-handed
following
axe.
year, or the, you know,
But
however
he's
long.
probably some
And so
bandit
that's really
lord
really
who is
cool.
trying to incorporate the
Yeah, this is
beats of
cool.
old and
This is
say
really
and
cool.
sow fear into the
So many people
eyes of
getting
his
shot by
enemies by his
arrows.
visual appearance. But
Sure.
yes, he
Yeah,
is a
they're having a
unique
hard
type of
time.
unit that you can see in the game, as well as
Completely.
others. I believe you also
Like, I
saw
wonder
a
if you have to get the
centaur,
civilians
who I
out.
believe to be
I don't
half
think so.
human, half horse.
It would be interesting to know if you
Whereas
could
in
take
truth, what I
prisoners.
believe
Yeah.
the
I'm not
thing
sure
that
if that was something that
inspired
was
that
implemented
would be
in previous
that
games, but that would be interesting.
some
And then
people from some
deciding on what
tribe
to do
maybe
with them
were
Right.
so
and stuff
tuned
like
with their
that. Like
horses and
moral
were so
choices
used to
are
riding them
like a big
and
thing in
fighting
gaming right
from
now.
their back,
I
which
think
is
that would
something
be
that
kind of
didn't
cool to
really
see.
happen in that
Yeah.
era. That
It's like, you know, you don't
some
have
people
to
would say in
decimate
the way that
everything.
they're
Like
one with their
there's
horse,
ways
and so
of
that's
doing it
how we have
that's,
represented
you know,
the
different.
centaur, for example.
I mean, unless you're the Vikings and it's just like, hey, by the
That's a really
way,
cool way
we don't
to
have
put
enough
a myth
farmland
through
to
time.
support you all, so you're
Tell us
gonna
about
die.
how the
But plus, you
divine
don't
wills
believe in our
work.
gods, so goodbye.
Well, as I
Well, I
said
don't know because
previously,
the
player
Vikings in
has
the
access
next
to a
Assassin's
special build
Creed, I
system,
mean, they seem
which
I
is
cool.
the divine
know.
will system,
They're supposed to be
which
like
represents the
magnanimous or some
pantheon of Greek
nonsense.
gods.
You're like,
And in the Trojan
hey,
War,
I
the
want I
gods
want to hear this
actually,
version. Because you
Yeah.
know,
according to
they
Omer,
didn't tell us
took
that in
active
school.
part in the war
No,
itself.
but well,
Some being
we
on the
can't trust
side of the
school.
Trojans, others being
Nope.
on the side
Everything there
of
was
the
a lie.
Achaeans.
This we can't.
And
This is why there's a reason
here,
why
this
Columbus
is
is
also the
floating
case.
in a
Whereas
river
when
somewhere.
doing
It's
certain stuff
there's a
Hello.
reason.
depending on what
How
god
did
you
they
want
even
to
get his head
appease,
off the
you may do
statue?
I
them
don't even
favor, or you
I
may
don't
use
even
special
know.
types of
Like
I
agents
feel like
or
it
other
took
actions
time. Like they were like
to gain the
somebody
favor of
somebody figured
the
it out.
gods
They're
that
like,
you
hey, this is how
choose
you
to be
get something
aligned
off
with.
of a bronze
And
statue,
depending on
guys.
which
You got to
gods you
drill a
choose,
hole.
you're
You got to
going to
put
get
this type of
different
explosive
types
in
of
it,
benefits
and
into the
then
game.
you can
Like, for
chip
example,
the like. It probably took them
Ares, who is the
approximately
god of
4 hours.
war, will of
Oh,
course make your
but
troops much
maybe four
better in
hours each
battle.
night.
Though
yeah, it's I
using
mean it's if it's
Apollo,
anything like
who
the
is also believed,
was it when
apart from being the
some of
god of
the early
poetry
like
and
Civil War
music, is also
statues from like the Daughters of the
the god
Confederacy or
of
whatever it's
Uh
called,
huh.
archer's
they were
favorite. So
cheap. They were cheaply
appeasing
made to
him
kind of
will
erect
make your
really
archers
quickly,
more accurate
Yeah.
and the
or
idea was to
fire
kind of be
faster
like
inside battles.
not
So
only to kind
even
of
though the
change
gods
history,
don't
but then also
appear
to
as entities
like for
in
Intimidate.
instance, yeah,
battles,
intimidate. Like when we got
the
the opportunity to
very
vote,
fact that
you know, some of
the
those statues
people
came up, and
waging
so
those
like
wars
they weren't like,
believe
you know, you
in the
can't
gods who
vote,
are
but they're
staying
like,
behind
hey, you got
them,
to walk past this,
makes
you
them
know,
perform better
the
in the
rival generals or
battles.
Yeah.
whatever. So some of them
Well,
were
Total
really
War
really
Troy is
cheap and
looking
easy
very
to come
cool.
down.
What's the
I'm not
release
sure
plan? Is it
Yeah.
still
with
marked
Christopher
out to
because
be
he's kind
released
of
this year?
older in terms of statues and
Yeah.
whatnot.
We will be
But
announcing
yeah, if
release
they were
date
cheaply
really
made,
soon, so
then yeah.
stay tuned for that.
Okay,
Yeah, that's why
definitely
my
no
school
sale.
got
Thank you so
named
much for
Robert E.
joining, Tim.
Lee.
That's so horrible.
I know, right? And I had to go there. And he like think about him, and they kept telling us over and over again. But he was a good guy because. It's like, yeah, okay, sure.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't at all.
Oh god.
With combat that focuses on reading your opponent's actions.
Oh, okay, so this sounds interesting. So you have
Yeah.
a platformer where a father is
Ooh.
trying to get back to his family,
Oh, I like this.
and he has to read his opponent's move, or like what they're gonna do in order to attack and I guess block and such.
Unto the End.
From 2 Ton Studios.
That's such an interesting unto the end. I mean, I like the Samurai Jack-ness of the animation.
Yeah, it has a very minimal approach. Atmospheric is really cool too, the sounds and such. I'm curious though, how did he get separated from his family? Were they taken by someone and he's going to hunt them down? Oh, that was cool.
Yeah, like he just knew that the dude was gonna hit him from behind.
I really like the fighting. I think this would, I mean, obviously this is something you have to kind of practice. This guy's obviously good, but
yeah,
I like the. It seems like it would feel cool to be able to block and parry, and like when you defeat a foe, it feels like you accomplished something.
right. Like an assassin.
Yeah, like I also feel like there's a bit of I didn't see any survival mechanics, but I saw him like drink something or eat something. I guess maybe to fill his life. Oh, Cowboy Bebop in the back. Sweet.
Also, are you registered to vote?
Yeah,
Are you remembered to recycle? Do the pets have enough
and
water?
like
It's very hot during the summertime.
There's being winter. Does you have to contend with the cold and stuff like that? Like there's more I want to know about it. They did say that there's like an extended video somewhere else on IGN or in other places. But I can't watch that right now, so it's like whatever. But it would have been nice to kind of see a little bit more, or like to hear a little bit more.
You see this comment? Fallout Shelter makes me mad. Such a pointless, not fun game. I was like, Fallout Shelter was the bomb. It kept me occupied for so long.
Yeah, it eventually got better over time. They added more stuff for you to do. Blue Fire preview.
And once you realize that there's no point, you kind of like, okay, let me stop either wasting my time and or my money. Like,
right.
Please do not buy any more like animals or Mr. Handies. Nothing's gonna change. Just gonna have a shelter that nothing changes.
Would stop my momentum completely and became essential for making precise landings.
This looks kind of cool. It reminds me of
platformers like Hollow Knight. Maybe later on
Legend of Zelda a little bit.
But the way
like the Wind Waker, at least because he's like a chibi Link.
He do an admirable job at trying to set itself apart.
Yeah.
One particularly prominent feature I explored was an optional ice.
I'm really trying to bring back hoods, not like hoodie hoods, but like cape hoods. I think it's awesome. The new stuff.
In these instances, quick camera positioning was just as important as
did he just die?
Gosh, I think so.
Yeah, that's definite death. I mean, it seems like you're just falling into nothing.
Before completing the area. I only wish I was able to spend some of the currency I was rewarded with on some of the exciting sounding upgrades that were sadly disabled for the demo.
One thing I noticed though, he has dual swords, but I haven't seen any enemies. Like, were there enemies?
I guess they're the enemies now.
Oh, there we go. These shadow guys.
Groups of basic enemies. I found myself restarting the demo just to get more chances to experiment. Umber can swing incredibly fast and hard, taking out most of these foes before they could do much.
I wonder if this is roguelike. Like if you die, you lose something, you have to go get it back.
Yeah.
Each strike. I'd even go so far as to wonder if a stamina bar.
Oh, what is that?
And would have loved a bigger encounter to put that.
Oh, looks like we have a boss battle.
With the demo ending after an ominous cutscene, I was left feeling just a bit conflicted. I do like.
Okay, so this is him playing a demo of the game.
Platforming feels fluid and precise.
Yeah.
There's a lot of potential for void zones to truly test your
Fluid
skills.
platforming. That's cool.
Combat also feels like a great inclusion.
I don't think I feel the world though. It feels
varied and challenging things will actually get. Or if unlockable
yeah, I don't know where
I wouldn't want to explore. Like it doesn't make me want to explore. It seems like there needs to be more.
To get some answers.
Like the areas where he's like in a castle or something like that are kind of cool. But some of the open world spots where it's like there's like nothingness.
Yeah.
Stick with IGN.
I don't know. It's not very intriguing. I like the little guy though.
Yeah, the little guy is cool.
Hey, look
And
who's
the
here.
combat
It's
seems
us again.
fun.
Anyway, don't forget, all summer of gaming long, IGN
But
is
yeah,
asking you to give to the World
I
Health
feel like
Organization a Kale project to combat
and this is
COVID-19
not a
and
shot at
reunite
them,
separated
but I feel like some
families,
of the
respectively.
indier
You can find out
games,
more or give at
indie-ish, whatever.
donate.ign.com
Mm-hmm.
or by following the links in
It's
the
like
video
just like
description.
we get it to a
And
point
if
where
you
we're
download the
like, okay,
TikTok app,
things
follow
work
IGN and search for IGN
and
Summer of
it looks
Gaming hashtag
okay,
to
and then they
upload
kind of just
your
stop
own
there.
gameplay moments and
Because like
find
having a
tons of
minimalist
bonus
look,
summer
it
of
has to
gaming goodness,
it
as
has to
well as
feel
lots and lots
purposeful
of videos of people dancing and
and
doing
not
lip syncing and all sorts of
unfinished. Like
nonsense.
the
All
guy
sorts of various
looking for his
treasures. But up
kids,
next, drilling
that
manual
looked
labor is
finished.
difficult under normal
Yeah.
circumstances. But can you imagine how
Versus
much
what we
worse it
just
is in
saw,
the
it seemed like it's
unforgiving
still being
void of
worked on, and it
space?
could be.
I can. I've been to space. I've been to the
Hmm.
moon to fight aliens.
Like
It
it could
definitely
be.
did
You
look
can
like it
ask
was
me
still being
all
worked
about
on.
it on
Like
my
it
new
almost
show.
looked
Just
empty
kidding.
in
But
a
hey,
way.
here's a game that might
Right.
You
be
know?
your idea. It's called Hardspace Shipbreaker.
And that's something
It's
I
up
don't
next. It
like,
sounded like
just
it
for my
first, but it
own
wasn't.
mental, like the open vastness of something, uh, just freaks me out. Like for instance, like being on the ocean and like not being able to see anything, that it just feels weird.
Hello, everybody,
Yeah.
and welcome to Hardspace Shipbreaker.
Yeah.
I'm Trey,
So this
to show
game,
you our next
Hardspace
superclass,
Shipbreaker, is
the
something
Gecko.
I've been looking at,
Now, geckos are much
and
larger
I was
ships
like,
compared to macros, which are
it
the ship
almost
class we've
piqued my
shown before.
interest
This
Uh-huh.
because
Gecko
you are
is an
basically cutting
industrial
up. You're
transport
going and
ship
finding derelict
with
ships,
minimal
if
crew
I'm
and
correct,
large cargo
and
space
you
within
are
the fleet.
stripping
Today
them
we're going to be completing the
for
work order,
parts
salvaging some
to
large chunks of the
sell
ship,
or to
and
use with
showing
your
you how the
ship,
three
stuff like that.
main elemental
And
systems of the
so
game are interconnected.
that in
That's
and of itself is
propulsion,
interesting.
fuel,
Um,
and coolant.
not I was hoping it would be derelict, like kind of like aliens, like you would go and there's like bodies everywhere, and you're like, what the heck happened
First,
here?
we
But it
gotta
seems
get
like it's just
inside.
ships that people abandoned, and I
Now we're
thought
going to
the
intentionally
mechanics
keep
of like
this room
chopping and
pressurized,
opening and
so we're not
trying
draining
to
our
figure out
oxygen
how to
tank
pull the
while we're
stuff off of a
going
ship
flat.
without it blowing up or something was really
Uh-huh.
really cool. And something that I've never done before. But at the same time, I was like, it just felt like it
Okay,
was
so we've got a small coolant leak down here.
I
Causing
guess
some
there was
damage,
nothing else.
freezing some
And not to
things.
say
Okay.
that you
Probably
needed
keep an eye
anything
on
else,
that.
but I felt
Now the
like
coolant comes from the
I
environmental
needed
control
some
unit,
type of
or
progression or some type of
ECU,
story that kind of
which is
propelled me to
Right.
do
this
that.
room right here. And in
Because
this room,
yeah,
we've
looking at
got the power
ships
jack
that are
that
lost
sends
power or
power
whatever, and
throughout the ship. Welcome back
stripping
to
stuff
base.
from it is cool,
The
but
coolant keeps the
I don't know how
damage
long that would
from
keep my
breaking
attention.
down. As soon
Uh,
Yeah.
as we sever the
if it was
coolant
like,
wire from
you have to
here,
get in and like get out
it's
before the
gonna
space
cause
police find you and stuff like that
Yeah.
type of stuff, I'm like, oh, this would be, that's exciting. Um,
Right.
so we should keep that
but
coolant
right
leak
now
connected to the
it's
reactor for as long as we can. So
mostly
the only
regulated
reason
to
this room
doing it
is
safely.
unpressurized, meaning
Like
it
he was
doesn't
saying, like
have
they don't
any
want to remove
oxygen.
this part because it's keeping the
When a
some
room is
the engine cool or
unpressurized,
whatever the
it's
case may
less
be,
likely to accidentally
and
cause a decompression event
they don't
with one
want
of
to
your cuts.
like yeah, like you just said, cause like decompression and you get sucked down into space or something. Like that's cool. But for the most part, I was like, nah, I don't know. I I feel like it's almost there.
So
Like it's
now we're
almost
using our own O2 to explore
enough to
this
make me
area.
want to like go get it, but
All
not
right,
quite.
looks like
Not
all the
quite.
crew quarters are empty.
And that's not to
Let's
say
see
that
what
this
else
is,
we've got.
I mean, it's like it's at the
So
top it
now
shows
we
it's
see the
alpha
power
footage, so
generator and the
they're
ECU.
not even at beta
It's
yet.
time to take a look at
So
the
there,
reactor.
there could be all
Now
sorts
the
of
reactor is basically the
advancements
heart of
when it
every
gets
Yeah.
closer to launch.
It's the most
It's
valuable
just right
piece of
now,
salvage,
I
and
think
it's
they have a
also
good
the
solid
most
foundation.
dangerous, because once you remove it from its coolant,
It's
basically,
pretty.
it begins to melt down. You
Yeah, it
never
looks
know
good
how many
too. I
ticks you've
like
got
how
until it goes boom.
it feels like kind of old school in a way.
These are the ship's
Like with
thrusters. They're
PlayStation,
connected
a
to the
lot of times when
reactor
they were
by
doing
these fuel pipes right here. And
like
these
robots and
pipes are
stuff, they were
filled
very
with
much
fuel. So we should try
hard
to find a
shapes.
way to
Like
flush
it's
them
almost like just
before
looking at
making it.
polygons.
The work order tells
And
us
this
Mm.
has
we
that
have to
vibe a little
salvage
bit.
some antennae.
Yeah.
So we're gonna snag them with the grapple tool right here, and then
But the
deposit them.
physics engine and
Now our
stuff like
grapple
that
tool here has
is I
been
think that those are
upgraded,
all really
so it
cool.
can grab, pull,
And how you
and
grab
push both
things and
light
slice
and
and
heavy
stuff
objects
is really
pretty
cool.
quickly.
Yeah.
Now that some of the easier parts of the
But I don't
work
know.
order
I
are
just
done,
think it
we
could
can
be a little
focus
bit
on the
more.
more
Could be.
challenging objectives. The ECU is in a
Well, this
pressurized
person
chamber,
says it needs more
which
face
makes things
huggers.
a
I don't
bit
know what that
more
is.
complicated.
That's from
This
aliens. From when they like grab your face and then inject like the egg into your chest, and you have like only a certain amount of time to live before the alien bursts out, bursts through your
That's
chest.
gross. That's really gross.
It is. Yes, it was terrifying when I first saw it in Alien. Ridley Scott film. Like I was like, what is going on here? Like, it's crazy, crazy.
You remember Prometheus?
Yeah, that horrible film.
So horrible.
Cinematography was amazing, but like the rest of it was, it was just trash. I was so angry.
We were all angry. We were all
And
angry.
Alien Covenant, like it started out great and it just went all to pieces, and I was, yeah.
Prometheus was completely different than I thought. I didn't realize it was gonna be. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I thought it was gonna be totally different. I did not know what I was signing up for. I just kept remembering everybody kept saying, "Oh yeah, Prometheus this, Prometheus that," and then it was free. I think it was free, or did I pay for it? Did I get it from Redbox? Who cares? And then I saw it, and I was just like, "What's happening?" And why is Charlize Theron so hateful?
Like I knew it was like a prequel of sorts to Alien, and being a big fan of that series, I wanted to see it for that. But then it just I don't know. I think they wanted to do too much, or they were trying to be. I feel like there was two different scripts or two different stories, and they couldn't decide on one.
A movie out of it.
Yeah. Like they wanted a whole lot and just could not execute properly.
I was so confused.
Like I said, it was even more maddening is that it started off so well.
Yeah, it did. I was like, oh, this is great. And then it was just like, wait, what? Why is there an alien coming out of her stomach? Why is she giving herself surgery? Why is there a machine to give her surgery? Why does What's-Her-Face hate everyone? Why are they trying to run away on a ship? Why is she the only one left?
Like I was like, why does this ooze or whatever this stuff he has causes his body to disintegrate, turns one person into a super zombie, turns another person sick and like just falls apart. Like there's so many questions.
Yeah, and then one of them ends up having a baby.
Yeah.
Like, and none of it made any sense. And it's like, what was his name? Michael Fassbender was a robot.
Yeah.
And I was like, but why were you so interested in checking out what the ooze did to somebody else? Couldn't you just analyze the ooze and figure it out? You're a robot. He's like, here, let me put that on that, and let's see what happens to you. Let me put that on your water bottle. I forgot what he did. I forgot how.
I think
how
he put it in this water and he drank it or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, essentially, you don't need this doesn't need aliens, but it would be interesting if maybe you know what? To be fair, this is something that they want to do. Like they want to have a game where you're salvaging parts from a ship. So in that sense, it's like, okay, do what you do. Whether or not it's for me, it's another question. You know, that's different. But as far as what they're doing, and this, it's a different type of game. It's unique because I've honestly never heard of a game like this, and it's impressive tech. I say go for it. There's bound to be an audience for this sort of thing.
Maybe it's the type of people who do this for a living. Not like we don't really have space junkyard people in real life, but we do have like bomb techs. You know, people who do like very technical type work.
Yeah.
And since it's a game, I'm assuming that, you know, salvaging some of these materials is not easy and it's probably very time consuming. And so I wonder if this is something that would interest that type of person. Like if my job as a real human being is to disable minds, maybe this is a more calming version of doing so.
Yeah. You know, taking apart computers or putting things together. Yeah, I can totally see that.
Shipbreaker.
Because like each one is like a puzzle.
Yeah.
Because you have to take them apart without killing yourself, and
winding
Yeah,
things
it's
down
that's,
here on
that's
IGN
interesting.
Summer of Gaming Expo number 3, but there is still more to come. Up next, our pals at News Game and More will be rounding up and breaking down all of the
So I believe
biggest
there's a few
gaming
more
and pop
things to
culture
show,
news of the day.
and then
We'll
after
be
that
right
they
back
are
while
done.
showing you cool trailers and gameplay and whatnot. And then
Because
after
up
that,
at noon
Ryan
is
and I are
actually
going
a
to get
totally
very
different
stoked
thing.
on our little
So
nonsense show up at noon where we get
so
to talk
far
about the
today
amazing
has been a little bit
with an
more chill.
exclusive review
Honestly,
of the
that's
very good
not
video game in action
totally
Phantasy
fair because they did show the PS5 yesterday, and that was, I mean, everybody went bananas for that. So yeah, that's not fair. But what I can say for the games that they did show outside of that, I think yesterday was more. It was there was more like platformers. There was more. I think there was like some party games thrown in there. Uh, a couple of shooters. Like there was, it was a little bit more actiony, I guess. I think they front loaded this with a lot of
who's been donating to our charities, the World
like tactical
Colonization
games
Information Trust
and
Fund, and the Real
things like
Project. If you
Civilization,
didn't yet, it's
the
massive
ship
links
game we
in the
just saw, and the
description,
other
in the
spaceship
video
game
description, or head on over to
earlier, uh,
ign.com.
where even though that one had combat, it was still a little slower than what we've seen before. So
Yeah.
I think that's kind of coloring a little bit of day three. That said, I'm not upset.
That about
It's
wraps
cool to see
today's
games in
show
there,
for IGN Summer of Gaming Expo. So whether you
as they're
genuinely
being
enjoy the
announced and
content
revealed
or
and
you're
such.
just here to argue with the
Um,
Yeah.
haters in the chat, stick around because
even
there's
not
some
for
fun
even
stuff
if it's a game that
coming.
you're not going to get, just the idea, like oh that's pretty cool. I never thought of that.
You'll
Um,
be partying with us all
and
summer
seeing how
long.
what people think. I'm personally not watching the comments, um, but I hear they're hilarious.
They are. Like sometimes you just think that first of all, this person's name is Ratchet for now. What about tomorrow? Like I don't know. That's awesome. This person's name is Aussie McBucket. It's like G.A.M.E. Immortal Typhon. It's a Typhon, not typhoon. Typhon.
Yeah, I don't even try to read people's
Yeah.
names like talking about. Not in that
That's right.
sense.
Immortal Typhon said basically farming simulator, but you're doing jobs in space. Like that's what that game was.
You know, yeah, that's kind of apt.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that.
Yeah, that Last of Us was just kind of making me think Walking Dead, which my sister just realized that The Walking Dead hadn't ended. She thought season 9 was the last one, and I was looking at her like she was crazy, but she didn't understand. And then she realized that season 10 was actually a real thing, and then she realized that she couldn't watch season 10 because only part of it is on demand, and she's like, I don't want to have to pay for the rest of it.
I need to
So,
finish. Well, I need to start season 10 actually.
well, you can't unless you pay for it.
I might have to bite the bullet. Just being, because I read the comics,
Yeah, yeah.
and just being such a. I've also played Telltale's Walking Dead series, which is really good.
Uh-huh.
And so it's like it's kind of like I'm invested. And plus, 9 seasons, I'm invested. I got at least if I finished Game of Thrones, I have to finish Walking Dead. Like
Yeah,
it just has to happen.
yeah.
um,
Man, Game of Thrones.
Hey everyone, and welcome to
Mm.
News Games and More. Lots of gaming news.
Oh,
But
you saw that anime Gangsta, right?
get started.
We can
I
talk about
did.
it.
Actually, I think they're done with the. This is like a sub thing, I believe. So we can actually. I'll pause this here. Actually, I'll let it go play in the background so we'll be able to see stuff while we talk. But yeah. So there's still stuff going on, obviously, during IGN Summer of Gaming, and they have their. It's the equivalent of like Nintendo will have their direct video that shows the major stuff, and then they'll have like a treehouse event where they talk about certain games a little more closely while people play them. And so this is
Mm-hmm.
what some of these things are doing right now. And it's not necessarily something we need to cover, um, because the bigger stuff I want to say already happened, but we can talk about it while it's playing currently. Um, Today, like I said, was a little bit more relaxed because, yeah, I think this Sony reveal kind of sucked everything. Like that's all people want to talk about currently,
Right.
um, and all the games that they showed there. But I don't think this day was necessarily bad though. I think that a lot of indie games got to, or a lot of indie devs got to showcase their games. Some of them I'm interested in, some of them I'm not so much. I think Skater XL needs some more work before it comes
Yeah,
out. Um,
definitely.
but aside from that, I think it's a good showing for day three. I look forward to hearing about the other stuff that's coming up in the Gorilla Showcase. That's where a lot of indie games are going to be popping up. But for the most part, it's been pretty good. Pretty good 3 days. I think IGN has done a really good job with this so far, considering we don't have E3 anymore. They got canceled because of Corona, and so being able
Yeah.
to get together and get all these different publishers, developers, and whatnot to kind of do their own version of E3 was really smart, and it helps. Definitely helps. Um, was there any game that you saw that kind of stood out to you?
Well, I actually liked the one where you said the guy had to go and find his family. I
Oh
think
yeah.
just remembering that because like, the wind and the very Samurai Jack artistry, it was just very empty, kind of simple, and you could see the way that the way it was animated just reminded me of Samurai Jack. And I like that. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I liked the Troy just because it's just a bunch of battles. I'm like, okay, this seems interesting. This seems fun. A bunch of people was like, oh, let's just go kill each other. Sure.
Well, yeah,
So
there is a plot, but yeah, for the most part, they just showed the battles and such. Um, yeah, the one with about the father, I'm curious. I want to know more about the story
yeah.
and what happened with his family and stuff like that. And honestly, where a lot of the indie games kind of showed gameplay that made me more confused than anything,
Uh-huh.
this one was the opposite. This one was like, oh, I like what you're doing. I kind of want to know more. This one was successful in that. I think it was called Unto the End or something like that,
Yeah.
by Two Ton Games or something. And
Yeah.
yeah, that was cool. I dig it. I might have to check that one out. And then the other one was, I think, for me anyways, was Everspace 2.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious about how that works as an MMO in a sense of you actually going through around planets and stuff and getting supplies and all that other stuff without actually getting out of a spaceship. Like we saw
Yes.
him like going and opening a chest or something, and like that's you don't typically see that with a spaceship. You see that with a character, and so I'm curious of that. Um, but beyond that, I thought it was okay. Thought it was okay. Uh,
Yeah.
the Sony stuff from yesterday was really cool. One thing I want to say about that, since I see that they're going back over it, is I don't like how Sony advertised the Spider-Man Miles Morales game. They showed it off like it was a brand new game, and apparently it's not. It's a new game in a sense that it's a standalone expansion to the previous Spider-Man game. I don't know if that means it's going to go to the PS4 and the PS5, or just going to be on the PS5. I don't know what this means in terms of uh, the original Spider-Man, if that's going to
Mhm.
be on PS5. I would like Miles to have his own full game, not just a
Right.
short game or like a spin-off game, if you will,
Mm-hmm.
because he's a great character. And the Spider-Man movie was awesome. The animated film was awesome. It won awards and everything. Like, why can't we get and the fact that it tells them, or should tell them, and it should inform them that people want this, because people were excited when they showed Miles and like he has his own Spider-Man game, like a black, I believe he's mixed. His mom is Hispanic, his dad is black. Like having a minority superhero as the main character for a full length game,
Yeah.
Awesome. Like my friend who was on the Andre, who was on the cast yesterday, or on the show yesterday, he was like, "I'm sold. Like
Right.
I'm supporting the black people." Essentially what he said. And so,
Oh,
um,
there it is. Expansion or sequel.
yeah, and it's like, man, like this could have been really great. And not that I'm not saying that it's bad. I haven't, obviously I haven't played it, and it might be the best thing, but a full game would have been like it would, yeah, like a full game would have been great. And I know that Insomniac also they're doing a new Ratchet and Clank, so they're kind of split there. But I would have waited for a new Spider-Man, like
Hmm.
like you could finish Ratchet and Clank. I think Ratchet and Clank is done at least from what it looked like, and just saves. You could have just said Spider-Man Miles is coming 2021 or whatever, and that would have been enough. Like
Yeah.
it didn't have to be pushed out this year, and I would have been fine with a full game. I would have been happy. But it just feels like we were regulated to the sidelines, and we finally got like, yes, this is gonna be great. Like we get to a Marvel superhero game that's totally focused on the black superhero, and not so much. And it's like, darn it, like you really fooled us, Sony. I feel away. I feel away just a little bit, just a little bit.
A little way.
But anywho, um, so yeah, that's day 3 in the bag. Thanks for checking out, and
Mhm.
just hearing our thoughts. Feel free to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and to follow us everywhere. I'm gonna have that in the comments below, or the description below. But and let us know what you liked. If there's a particular game that you thought was cool and we didn't. If you're a fan of Skater XL, sorry. Um, or maybe you can inform me. Maybe there's something about the game that we don't know.
Yes.
Maybe when you saw this stream, you heard what the developers had to say about it, and what their plans are for the game, and maybe you can kind of inform us. I don't know. I just looking at what they've shown is what I'm going off of, and it wasn't doing it for me. And I'm a
Yeah.
skater fan. Like I used to skate. Like seriously, when I lived in Berlin, I went to skate parks. So I'm I mean I haven't skated in a long time, but I would assume I'm the target audience.
I
So,
never skated. I was really bad at it.
oh really?
I mean, I fell off the skateboard several times, so I got in trouble. And when you get in trouble by African parents for doing like normal things that kids do, you just never do that thing again.
Yeah, I don't have African parents, but black parents are very similar in that.
Yep.
For me, it was roller skates. I suck. You would think being good at skating, they're wheels, right? Like I would be able to roller skate.
Mm.
No, not at all. I was bad, very bad. Uh, if there's a roller skating game coming out, let me know so I can redeem myself.
Oh, that'd be so fun.
Goodness. Um, Anywho, like I said, follow us everywhere, and
Please.
I believe we will be covering. I'm not sure because I know like the Gorilla showcase is going to be coming up soon. This they start on Saturday, I believe. I'm
Mhm.
not sure I'm going to cover that because timing. Um, so I'm not sure just yet. We'll see, but because we have like we have our own streams and other things that are going on. And we'll be having there's a lot of news and stuff that went up on the website, whether it's the new Ratchet and Clank, we talked about that, to Spider-Man, to just everything that's being shown right now. um, all that stuff is going up on the site as we speak, and so we've been pretty busy, so this might be the last video for a little while, but I just wanted you to know it wasn't because we just were like screw Guerrilla Games. I think what they're doing with the indie scene is really awesome, and I'm gonna try to catch it, but I can't promise a video, so I don't want to say that. But there will
Yeah.
be more content. We've been doing a lot of streaming, and it's been fun. So like I said,
Yeah.
follow us. You can follow me on Twitter at Kenny UFG, as well as Instagram. Um, you can follow Messy. You can follow Tess at MessyTessie_bakes on Instagram. She started posting again.
Yeah, and I might just end today.
Oh gosh.
I just I can't keep up anymore. It's too much.
I totally understand. I totally understand. Um, and you can follow our website at U_F_G. And like I said, hit subscribe, notification bell, and we'll be back with more stuff tomorrow. Other than that,
All right.
take it easy.
Bye-bye.